Hello friends, Jay the Silent Cartographer here, and I just had the first in daily map. I actually had to scrap an entire map because it was, I was trying out Inkarnate, the paid version of Inkarnate, and something happened where I couldn't put anything down anymore. And yeah, I just couldn't, for the life of me, figure out what was wrong. I spent like a half hour trying to figure out why I couldn't place things down. But that's okay. So we're going to try a completely different Inkarnate map because I just tried to make a fantasy regional. Now I'm going to try to make a fantasy world on their paper maps. And yeah, I mean, there's some things that the paid version of Inkarnate has that are really, really great, and there's others that are really, really not so great. Um, I'm a little bit annoyed that there's not from the Wonder Draft world generator, not the ability to say like, hey, I just want continents, or hey, I just want an island chain. I feel like I'm going to be generating worlds here that are not going to be what I have in my brain. And I don't know how to feel about that. So maybe I change this to 40% ocean and we just like look for a nice shape and we cut it out of the um we cut it out. Like, okay, maybe 60% ocean, because like this right here, the problem I have with the incarnate generation system is that, what is this? If I'm making a world map here, I don't want like big continent area. I'd very much like the land to all be in the middle, to be one mass of land, but for some reason the generator doesn't do that for you. It puts water in the middle of your world, and I don't want water in the middle of my world. My world map doesn't really make sense to me. So yes, I'm being fairly critical of. Oh well, I undid it, and so I've lost my entire. Oh no, I haven't. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna cut this out because I am done complaining and I am ready to take action and change the world. Uh, we're gonna cut that out. We're gonna cut that off like that. We're gonna cut this off like that. We're gonna split these down the middle. And actually, we're gonna just get rid of this entirely, and then we're gonna go to add, and then maybe we'll just add a random, completely random shape that looks awful. So maybe something like an S with a little bit of wiggle to it. No, that also doesn't really work. It is definitely a little bit on the frustrating side. That I've had to redo my daily map, and the world generator doesn't really work the way that I want it to. Which, I mean, it's okay that the world generator doesn't work exactly how it does in Wonder Draft, but I feel like there's no real point in using a world generation tool if the world that you generate with it is not usable in any reasonable way. Like, let me just generate a new world to prove my point. Like, what is this? This is not a world map. This is at best a continent map, and this continent is screwed. There's no room to draw a map here. So whatever algorithm it is that they're using to generate these worlds, it's just horrendous. Which basically makes the world generation tool a waste of time, which means you have to do all your coastlines by hand, which in daily map is not something that's very easy for me to do. I might be able to do something with this. I could probably fill in over here, probably go to the subtraction tool, cut the top off of that like there, add just right here to stop that from being like that. Cut that. Go down here, cut that like that. And then maybe just get rid of this entire thing, but actually let's go ahead and be smart about this. Let's make a little banana. Maybe do something like that. No, no, and no. Okay, then we're gonna cut this off and we're just gonna make a little tail. And I think that this can actually work as like as a little map. Okay, so catalog for parchment. Parchment green 1, parchment green 2, parchment gray 1. What's green 2 look like? My colorblind eyes cannot see a difference in those two colors. Oh. But here's some different parchment colors. And that looks way better to me. That looks way better to me. Okay. we can work with that. So let's go ahead and go to our catalog and see what we've got for stamps here. We've got some trees. We've got some mountains. Ooh, I like these jagged mountains here. Large mountains, mountains, and small mountains. So I think our obvious choice here would be to start with the large mountains. Oh god, you can rotate by holding the control button. That's usually scale in Winter Draft, so that's gonna throw me. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start our mountain ranges. So we're gonna have one mountain range. I think there's an obvious place for one that goes like this. And this all came about because yesterday I was trying to come up with a town map for my D&D game, and I wound up like I knocked my head against Wonder Draft and Dungeon Draft for a good hour and a half trying to think of one or trying to make one. And I just couldn't get it right because Wonder Draft it's just, to be frank, a terrible software for making specifically town maps. And I mean, I've used Whataboo and city generators, like the little blocky ones before, but they just feel so lazy to me that I hate using them. And so I figured, why not look at Inkarnate? And I looked at Inkarnate and I looked at some of the maps on Inkarnate, and a lot of them were very similar to what I had in mind for my town map. And so I said, screw it. Let me go ahead and make an Inkarnate map for my town map, and it worked out so well. And so it's led me to purchasing a month subscription to Wunderdraft, or not Wunderdraft. I'm not using Wunderdraft at all. The controls. The controls. Oh, that's an idea. That's a very interesting idea. Maybe we do something like this. Something like that. But yeah, it led me to getting a 1 month subscription to Inkarnate and making my town map, which I was very, very happy with how the town map turned out. And so I figured if I'm gonna spend money on Inkarnate anyway, might as well use it for some daily map. And so that's what we're doing. We're gonna do some Inkarnate daily maps. I definitely want to check out the encounter designer. Or not the encounter designer, but the encounter map builder. I want to check out the I want to make a town map as part of a daily maps video. I want to make a city map for one of the cities I think my players are going to go to very soon. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that I want to try with Inkarnate that I now have the ability to because I have a subscription to it. And so yeah, here I am kind of just checking it out, and so I figured why not make a daily map in Inkarnate. It was a little bit frustrating that I got denied my first map. I liked how it was coming along, but then stuff stopped working. So I had to restart. Now I was gonna just kind of restart in that video and post it, but the video had already been going on for 45 minutes, and I didn't want to make like a 4-hour daily map video. Especially because if it happened again, I told myself I would just go back to Wonder Draft for a few minutes and make a Wonder Draft map. But the other thing that I completely forgot to mention because I was a little bit on tilt was that I think today is actually the 1 month mapiversary of daily map, or whatever you want to call it. And so yeah, there's definitely going to be something. I have D&D tonight for the first time in a while. Finally is that time. And so I also just turned in my final for my animation course. So I am a little bit stressed out this morning. In case it was hard to tell. That I was a little bit stressed. So I'm a little bit apprehensive, or not apprehensive, what was I gonna say? I don't have the time to compile all of them up. I'm going to, sometime in the next couple of days, compile all 30 of the daily maps into one album. And I'm probably gonna post something on the D&D behind the screen Reddit or something, or one of the assets for Dungeon Masters Reddits, and just kind of give people some maps. So I figured like maybe every month I will give my maps as a pack, like a monthly map pack. Maybe I'll even make that a pay as you want, depending on how this goes. Trying to make some Monday off of my hard spent time doing something that I absolutely love doing and would do for free anyways. Which some people might call me a scumbag, but I call myself a pragmatic businessman. And really, there's not much of a difference between the two. So there you go. Okay, now I need a mountain range that is not that is not on a coastline. I need something to divide up the land a little bit. And I mean, this is something else I noticed on Wonderdraft is like it, or on Inkarnate, is that it will not allow you to place stickers in certain areas. And then also it has this amazing like radius place tool, but it's very procedural on where it puts things, so it you lose that human naturalness that you that I want from my maps, that kind of unrealistic, or more realistic, less digitally generated feel to it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and call that mountains done. Now, I believe that there's a different way to do rivers, and I think the way to do rivers is you're supposed to do like gray parchment. You're supposed to shrink your thing down and do something like that. But I don't actually think that that works. Grass, dirt, cracked ice. Is this like a texture brush or something? Oh, no way. Hold up. Let's get a good zoom in on this. Look at that. It adds a texture to the ground. That is very cool. That is incredibly neat. Softness 0 to really get it on there, and I'm just gonna make this whole area. I mean, nobody will see this because if we zoom out to 100%, which is here, nobody's gonna notice the scale on that until you get up to like 200%. Then you can kind of see the texture on it. But that's a really neat idea for a map making software. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna go to trees. I kind of want some. Yeah, I'll take the shaded trees. Why not? Those are teeny tiny trees. We're gonna move those up to much less teeny tiny trees because I don't want to be doing trees all day. I mean, sometimes I like to do trees all day. Today is not the day to do trees all day. Because I have to pass out so I can be awake for D&D. My sleep schedule, because of school, because of all the work I've been doing, has been unfortunately lax the last few days. I've been waking up after midnight, and I've been going to sleep sometime in the middle of the day, which it is a little bit early for me to be calling it bedtime, but I think I'm gonna curl up with a good book and just chill out because this is the first time in a very long while that I've had truly time to myself, without worrying about like, oh, have I gotten this done, or oh, have I gotten that done. And I mean, it's awesome to be busy. It's awesome to be busy, but like, there's so many little ideas kicking around in my head that I haven't been able to really put anywhere because I have been working on this D&D campaign setting, and I've been working on my animation stuff, and I've been working on like all this other stuff. And so like I have that book idea that I came up with a couple days ago in Daily Map that I still haven't even written down anywhere. It's just floating in my noggin, eating at me, saying like, hey, you could write this. This would be a great book. And I am gonna write it because it will be a great book. I've absolutely fallen in love with the idea of that book. I still don't even have a main character's name though. I don't have my main character's name. I don't have the names of any of the towns or any of the areas or the world. I just have some really cool like soldier names. Like again, the system of magic is basically broken up into 4 categories. You have like hunters, shaders, breakers, and illuminators. And it's so cool to me because like those names just have guts to them in a very similar way to a lot of other fantasy books that I've enjoyed in my life have had that kind of like you're a wizard Harry moment, or you're a Mistborn Vin moment. Like you got that fancy tickled, and so like to have something like that where it's like you're a shader. What's a shader? That sounds really cool. Or you're an illuminator. What's an illuminator? That sounds really cool. Or a breaker, or a hunter. Like all these different things, and you can, I mean, you can really go into it. And there's intrigue there. There's interest there, and I don't know. I really enjoy the idea for this book. And it now comes down to me to actually, you know, write it competently, write it well. I still want to do the published adventure, Bandits in the Mines of Aramor, which started on this channel. Is the first adventure that is going to be in my D&D campaign starting tonight. So a very rough version of that will be playtested by my group literally in a few hours. And again, we'll see how long it takes them to do it. The idea has evolved in a way that I have to probably make another video going over the evolution of that idea. Because there's a lot more twists now. There's a lot more elements to it now. I made the puzzle that I'm using in mind that I'm not sure if I'm a huge fan of. It basically, I gave each of the mines a number and letter combination on a town. Excuse me, on a town map that I provided to the players a couple of days ago, and the bandit cipher is going to be just the opposites of that. So if it's like A1, it would be 1A. That's a really bad example. Like C2 would be then B3, because B is the second letter of the alphabet and C is the third letter of the alphabet. And so just kind of working on that logic for things. And so yeah, I made that cipher, a little note. Actually followed my own parchment tutorial that I made all those months ago that's gotten ever so popular on this channel. It's the only video that is the funny thing is, like, I made that tutorial and I completely forgot that I'd made a tutorial on this channel. And then I logged into this channel for the first time because I'd remembered that I had it, and I had like a couple of notifications and like 100 views, and I was like, what? When did this happen? Why did this happen? Okay, what about what symbol do we want to use for this? Not a unicorn, certainly. Maybe an eagle or something. Down in the corner here, we can blow this up. Stamp it down. Whoa, that's dark. Very inky. Oh. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to 100%. Here's 100%. And that's basically our map. That's it. Unless of course there's like we could do a little town's indication here. Maybe shrink this down. Maybe there's a town here. Maybe there's a town here. Maybe there's one all the way up in the woods over here. Maybe there's one all the way down on the coast over here. Of course there's one on the coast over here, and then maybe there's one all the way up at the tip over here. And this is super cool. I really like the way that that this kind of craggy mountain run came along. I think that there could be tons of interesting stuff in there. These islands don't really need anything on them. They're just an accessory to the map, so that's fine. Forest came out okay. Again, I very much don't like how linear the brushes are in Inkarnate, how these trees are all kind of little lines. But then I started kind of working towards the fact that they were all little lines, and I made this whole pattern down here, which I actually rather like. So I guess it's just working with the tools that you have and understanding those tools. And so, yeah. This has been daily map number 29, I want to say. Actually, let me check really quickly while we have a second. Let me go to the YouTube channel here. Let me flip over from my normal watching YouTube videos account. And then let's go to my channel, YouTube Studio, videos, And let's go to daily map number 1. When was daily map number 1? August 8th. So we have 2 more days. So I can actually make a post on Reddit on the same day that I had intended to. Really quickly, is there a compass rose anywhere on here? Yeah, kind of. Much less northwest, east, south, much more giant, obnoxious stamp seal thing. Not sure how I feel about that, but it's okay, because you know what we can do is we can actually go into something like this, and then we can like we could grab a compass like that, and we could do that, and that actually looks very nice. I really like that. Maybe make it bigger. There we go. Then as for the grid options, show the grid. Ooh, is there a way to stick it under the water? That's a question. Grid options, show or hide. Size, color, alpha 50. Let's make that like 90. Wait, I mean 10. I meant 10. Not a huge fan of the fact that you can't put it underneath the water. Yeah, maybe we'll make this a hex grid map. Maybe this will be our first hex grid map. But I do like a really subtle like hex pattern on everything. I think I'm actually gonna bump this down to 5. Make it practically invisible, but there if you're really looking for it. On the entire map. And I am going to go ahead and export this. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to use this map in either your fantasy tabletop game or anything else that's not monetized or paid in any way, you will find a link to it in the description. It'll be an Imgur link, an Imager link, whatever you want to call it, where you can download this map for free for personal use only. And I will see you guys tomorrow for daily map number, I can get it right this time. Wait, today was 30? Holy crap, okay. So today was daily map number 30, I guess. Holy crap. Wait, then that would mean that there are 31 days since, or 32 days since the last map. That's weird. Dates are weird. I'll see you guys on the next weird date to do another weird map. Goodbye.